This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Rifen. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome to Cinema Debrief. I'm Garrison Rifen here alongside Mikey. How are you doing tonight, Mikey?
What is up, Garrison? I am the proud owner of $200 worth of Focus Features apparel now.
Oh, wow.
Because I accomplished the goal that AMC had of seeing all 5 Focus Features that were released last year. And if you accomplished that goal, you got a $200 promo code for the Focus Features specific store.
Fascinating.
And so I went on there, and I'm a big boned individual, if you will. So I need a larger size item of clothing. And sometimes those are difficult to find.
Yeah.
But luckily, I have 3 t-shirts coming with various different Focus Feature logos, 2 long sleeve sweatshirts that they call, and then 2 different Focus Feature hats. So I'm going to be fully decked out in my new Focus Features apparel. I'm very excited about it. I hope that AMC does that again, because that was a unique way to entice people to go see movies. Like throughout the year, basically. Like if you accomplish said goal throughout the year, you'll get this $200 promo code at the end of the year or whatever. Now, I think that they perhaps need to look at ways that you can fudge the system, because I did fudge the system. Being an A-list member, obviously I get 4 a week. 4 movies a week, up to 4 a week. So at the time that the Downton Abbey film was out, I basically just acted like I was going to see that movie, and I did not actually go see that movie. So that was a way to fudge the system, which they probably should look at that a little bit. I don't know how they would keep people from doing something like that. But the other 4 I wanted to see. It was like Hamnet, Song Sung Blue.
I know
what was the other
Scheme?
Phoenicia Scheme, and a Begonia.
Because
so that was the 4. That was the 5, including the Downton Abbey. So that was the 5 Focus Features.
So we don't have a AMC here. The nearest one is Yulee, and the best ones are in Jacksonville in terms of IMAX and Dolby and stuff like that. Yeah. But so I did see this, and now that you bring it up, I wondered what you meant in the Discord. Email us at cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com if you want to enter the Discord. I saw you talking about this in the Discord, and I kind of forgot about this whole thing. You brought it up before. But it's a good idea to get on Focus Features email list, and I'll tell you why. Because this has happened only, I think, maybe 2 times. But last year, they sent me an email for a free ticket to go see The Phoenician Scheme.
Oh, okay.
And I took advantage of that.
Well, of course, yeah. Why not?
So sign up for those kinds of sites. Focus Features. I got a free ticket for Dracula this weekend, actually. I don't know that I can use it, but Fandango sent me one for that. I mean, so just sign yourselves up if you're a movie fan for those kinds of sites. Just occasionally, once a year, you might get something like that where it's like, oh, okay.
That's pretty cool, actually. I mean, obviously, the smaller like Angel Studios does that all the time. Like they're begging butts to be in seats, so they send like free tickets to anybody, which is weird to me because I don't know what that's accomplishing. Because I guess
accomplishing word of mouth,
maybe like the Kevin James rom-com that came out this weekend, Solomillo. Apparently not a bad movie though.
Here's the thing, Angel. The system is you buy a ticket to go see it. Then at the end of the movie, they have a QR code to ask you to buy more tickets for people in the future. And they don't go to the box office until people actually redeem those tickets itself. Yeah. So they've got a system. It helps them bring in cash flow. You know, for Angel, and it also gets word of mouth for films to hopefully bring in more dollars over time as well. Is that going to work in the long term? I don't know, but that's the thinking.
It's hard to know. I mean, I know it worked well on that
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, I know that's what I was trying to pull. Sound of Freedom. I know that worked on that.
They haven't had a hit like that since, but
correct. Yeah, Daniel was a big hit actually.
But they're still around. That's right. Yeah. David, I think.
David. Sorry, Daniel.
Yeah.
David. Yes. Sorry, I'm old, and so my brain doesn't work all the time.
And King of Kings did well on Easter weekend.
That's true. That's true.
You know, so they've had some decent hits, but they've not had one as massive as. I mean, Sound of Freedom outgrossed. I think Mission Impossible domestically, and Indiana Jones domestically. I mean, just
it is funny because a lot of times people refuse to believe such things. Like they refuse to believe that.
I hate to tell them, I saw a packed theater for Sound of Freedom in Brunswick locally and went back many times. I didn't go see it, but went back to the theater many times and saw people packing into that 100%. Theater.
No, I agree. At the time, there was a lot of people always hanging around the AMCs when that movie was out. And it's interesting because I think like Iron Lung this weekend, for some reason, they're choosing not to report their box office. Did I read that correctly?
So I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't been following it, but here's the thing. Markiplier himself, Mark Fishback, has to report the numbers himself. So if the numbers are not out there, that's on him. What will happen is the sites will use an estimate based on what all the other studios are seeing in their numbers.
Yeah.
And they'll put out the estimate and then say Mark has to give us the actuals. So that's on him ultimately.
Yeah, because I don't see
studio. He's the studio.
I don't see why it wouldn't behoove him to provide that information, especially if he beats Send Help again. I know he didn't beat it last time, but it was really close. I mean,
he beat it on Friday, but he didn't beat it on Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
You know, because it was the front loading of his fans coming out on Friday, which is cool. And also Send Help had to Thursday, and Iron Lung didn't. So, I mean, you know, there were some differences there. Send Help was really 4 days. Iron Lung was 3. Look, it still did massively well for what it was.
I mean, I would venture to say it has to be the most successful movie of its type, where it's just a YouTuber independently releasing it.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I'd say of its budget type, I'd love to see. You know, I haven't looked into it hardcore. That Terrifier 3 would probably be up there with it too.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
budget wise, but that's not a YouTuber making it. You know, that specific. Thing and
the only other comparison is I guess that Chris Stuckman guy, but I mean that was studio backed though.
Well, and Chris, I mean if you want to go into the comparisons, it's kind of funny that we got on this topic, but Markiplier's 38 million subs,
right?
Chris Stuckman has 2 million subs.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of it's weird to see a lot of the film community go, "Wow, Chris Stuckman's movie didn't do as well as Markiplier's," and it's like, well, Markiplier has a fair
comparison, really. I mean,
yeah.
I guess it's the only comparison that can be made because they're both YouTubers.
Well, you've got the Raka guys, the
the Talk to Me guys,
Talk to Me, and their other movie. You got a few YouTubers that have made films, but
true.
Ones that have actually made money, not a lot of them.
Not a lot. No, you're right. You're right. Well, man, I mean, as the awards season trudges on, the Guild Awards. In fact, the DGAs are happening as we record, so we don't know who the winner is, but I would assume that it's probably going to be PTA. You know, I personally would love to see Ryan maybe get it, Coogler, but I think it's probably PTA. I think it's PTA's year. It just is. I mean, it's just one of those things that happens from time to time in the industry where everybody decides, okay, it's finally time for us to let PTA get his Oscar.
Yeah.
And
it's
probably
like Nolan a couple of years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Nolan a couple of years ago. It took a long time for Spielberg to get there. I mean, really, for the amount of films that he had already released.
I think it'll take a while for Dene to get it too. I don't know that Doom Messiah or Doom Part 3 is going to do it for him.
I mean, who knows? It could be the best thing in the world. We don't know. We have no idea.
It's not a very uplifting story.
No, it's not. But the cool thing is, I guess from the standpoint of Sinners, Ludwig Göransson won some random guild award. What's it called again?
He won the 7th Society of Composers and Lyricists Award. Sorry.
I mean, it sounds awesome. That's an awesome sounding award.
Hosted by Kevin and Michael Bacon.
Oh, okay.
They're brothers, apparently.
From the Bacon Brothers Band, Kevin and Michael Bacon. Yeah.
That's a thing? Okay.
Oh gosh, yes. The Bacon Brothers Band has been around a long time.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm guessing Michael Bacon, unless that's his son. I don't know. That could be his son. I'm not sure who Michael Bacon is, if I'm being honest. But yeah, Kevin Bacon's had a band for a long time.
It's his brother.
Yeah.
The other award show is the British Society of Cinematography. They give an award to specifically theatrical feature films, the one that a lot of people pay attention to.
Yeah.
That was given for Michael Bauman for One Battle After Another. Not a surprise.
I mean, look, and well deserved. Let's be honest.
That's one of the best parts of the movie to me.
The movie looks great. I mean, it just does.
I agree. The whole desert chase looks awesome. It's very Spielberg inspired to me, but it looks awesome.
I know as we inch towards the Academy Awards, there's this groundswell for Sinners, and I'm okay with that. But One Battle, I think it's. I won't say it's a better film, but from the standpoint of where we are in the awards season, it's going to win the big one. Sinners is not going to get Best Picture. I just can't.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's pretty much locked for One Battle. It's been locked since about September. You have some other awards in that one, just real quick. Cinematography and television drama, international / streaming. So they separate it there. And this is British, remember? So international is US.
Okay, that makes sense.
Severance, one of the episodes of Severance. Goodbye, Mr. Selvig. Susie Lavelle won.
Unfamiliar. Okay.
Cinematography and the television drama UK was Reunion episode 1. I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not familiar with that. Yeah.
And there's a music video one. So that's it.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, in the DGA, the other award, I think the DGA that I'm interested in is that television award, because I want to say that Andor is up for that.
Okay.
So I am interested to see, like, that second season, whatever you feel about the tone of the show. Is it Star Wars? Is it not? I mean, from a tonal standpoint, I still think it's just so well done, like all around. I mean, the building of tension in the episode where Cassian and Mon Mothma are trying to escape Coruscant is just top-notch stuff. I mean, there's just such good stuff in that show. So I would love to see the director award for the television go to him. But yeah, I mean, everybody thinks it's going to be PTA for the theatrical, though. We still have the WGAs to get their awards. I want to say that theirs will come right before the Academy Awards, and then that'll kind of be it for the guilds. Oh, well, the Actors Awards will obviously be coming as well.
Not the SAG Awards, of course. Can't call it Screen Actor Guild Award.
The Actors Award. And those actually have been getting more notoriety as they've been out. I mean, there's been more importance towards the Actor Awards. It's the Screen Actors Guild versus like the Golden Globes. Like, more people will look at the Screen Actors Guild and even the DGA.
Yeah, I remember when Parasite
and the Producers
won.
Guild. I'm sorry, the Producers Guild too. I don't think, have they announced their awards yet? I don't think they have.
I don't think they have either. But I remember Parasite in early 2021 for SAG and producers, and that was kind of a big hint that things were starting to go well.
Now, what was it, 2 years ago? Or no, it was just last year that Timmy got the SAG. But,
he did.
But
he
not
got
the Oscar,
which is a little surprising to me.
Was very surprising, yes.
Adrian Brody really needed another.
Well, he has the international crowd locked in, I guess. I don't know why. Look, The Brutalist is quite an interesting masterpiece of a film, but I mean,
the first half is spectacular.
There's some great stuff in it, but anyways, we need to Speaking of Bacon Brothers.
Yes, speaking of Kevin Bacon, I really wanted to make the transition there, but I was like, we got to talk about the cinematography.
My bad.
No, you're good. It's I was just thinking, I've got to delay that.
Yeah, exactly.
Your pick for Off the Shelf.
Okay, I want this to be said a bit differently. I'm honoring the shelf. It's not my personal pick. It's just I'm honoring the shelf, and the shelf told me that it was Flatliners' turn. So, and I had never seen it before, so I'm forced to adhere to the shelf. I can't just divert, even though I did already with FM because it was nowhere. But this you could at least like, if you've got $3.99, you could rent it, or if you wanted to go to your local library, if like you're that dedicated to keeping up with this on these off the shelf picks, Flatliners. I mean, it just happened to be there. Let's talk about it. I mean, came out in 1990. At the peak of probably most of these cast members' careers, you had Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon, Julia Roberts, William Baldwin, and Oliver Platt are your main 5 cast members. That's your for lack of a better term, I would call them the Drat Pack, because it was really a shame that they were even together. And directed by Joel Schumacher, who is of some notoriety, obviously. One of the movies that he directed in the past that I really loved was Tigerland, which was Colin Farrell's first like American film. Tigerland's good. Batman and Robin, I mean, Batman Forever.
His first one, was that Forever?
So he directed 2.
Kilmer was good.
He directed Forever and Batman and Robin.
And Batman and Robin was too much, yeah.
Also of note for Flatliners, obviously, Jan de Bont.
The best part of the movie, by the way.
Is the cinematography. Well, really? Okay. I mean,
I thought it was technically pretty well shot.
Yeah, okay. I'll agree with that. Now, here's what's wild. This was actually nominated for an Oscar, Best Sound Effects Editing. Charles Campbell and Richard Franklin. Not sure I necessarily agree with that, but at that time, if a movie this big, I guess with these particular stars comes out, maybe it gets nominated for an Academy Award. The only other really like below the line cast member that's of note, I would say, is James Newton Howard. He was the composer.
And a decent score.
Yeah. So for me, okay, I mean, so the premise of the film, if you've never heard of Flatliners, is 5 medical students experiment with near-death experiences until the dark consequences of past tragedies begin to jeopardize their lives.
It's really like one past tragedy and the rest are like, I've got to apologize.
Yeah. Some of it didn't make much sense. I mean, Kiefer carried most of the film. Like his character was the focus, like you alluded to. His past tragedy, and it was more of because he was a bully when he was a kid. But
yeah.
And
a lot of them were.
This movie came out in 1990, so I'm going to spoil it. I don't care. Especially if you chose not to watch Flatliners as you're listening to the show, you're not ever going to watch it anyways. So his past tragedy was that he and some buddies threw rocks at this kid, made him fall out of a tree, and the kid died. I mean, that
not just killed the kid, but also killed his dog.
That was the more tragic part, is the killing of the dog.
Yeah, the poor dog, the ghost dog, later on limping around.
And so these 5 medical students, Kiefer mostly is the catalyst for most of what is happening, is he wants to experiment with flatlining and bringing himself back. And so he obviously needs help. He convinces these 4 other students to help him.
Yeah, he wants to know what's on the other side, because he claims all these institutions have failed, so now science has to answer what's on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if this was an original idea. Let's see. The writer is Peter Filardi.
Yes.
I guess that this was an original screenplay. It does not indicate that it was based upon any previous work. So it was an original screenplay. I mean, the ideas in it are not. I mean, I guess we've seen stuff like this before, but I mean, I feel like I have. I mean, a lot of it, especially the dream sequences are like Freddy Krueger type stuff.
I think if you're going to do this subject matter, you've got to have an answer.
Right.
And it's got to be kind of smart.
Yeah.
And instead of just, well, we don't really have an answer, but there's something, and they're seeing something.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something.
Right. I was really put off a lot by, and I know this has nothing to do necessarily with the cinematographer's choices per se, but just the use of color in the movie annoyed me. It annoyed the crap out of me.
Oh, all right. Here's where we're gonna disagree and diverge just a little bit.
Really, you liked the use of color,
and maybe our color was different because you're looking at an arrow transfer.
Well, no, I'm just saying the choice, like, to do stark blue, sometimes red,
yellow.
Like, yellow. I hated all that, in all honesty. Like, it took me out of the movie a lot of times.
So I'm not talking about the all red, all blue sequences necessarily. I'm talking about them living their lives.
Yeah.
I am sick today of realistic lighting. We wanted to do realistic lighting in movies.
Or imitate realistic lighting. Yeah.
Yes. And I go, well, it's a movie. It could be a little bit fantastical.
Yeah.
Like Wicked. I mean,
especially a sci-fi film.
Part of my issue with Wicked, which I enjoy the first movie, but John M. Chu's out there going, well, we wanted to do realistic lighting for it. And it's like, who cares? It's Oz.
It's a fantasy film. Who cares with the realistic lighting?
So there was a little bit of like just these neon shots here or there, but where it's just normal life, where it seemed kind of otherworldly to me, where I was kind of like, I kind of like this weird look. But I get it. It could be too much. I understand what you're saying. But
yeah, and I'm mostly talking about the completely washed out like blue or the completely washed out red. I mean, some of that. I mean,
the red sequences were Julia Roberts specific.
I mean, and poor Julia. I don't know why she chose to do this movie and I didn't look at the exact release date, but theoretically she was coming off of or about to go into Pretty Woman, where that is where she became a megastar. Like when Pretty Woman came out, she became a megastar.
Came out same year?
1990, I believe. Yeah. I could be wrong. I'm just doing that off the top of my head.
So Pretty Woman came out in March, and then this came out in August.
So, I mean, who knows about when things were filmed? I mean, we don't know all that. This could have been on the shelf, and they were taking advantage of Pretty Woman and putting this out. Could have been something like that. But really, I mean, and Kiefer, same thing. He was either about to go in or had just finished Young Guns. And look, peak of their career, Oliver Platt, this was honestly the peak of this guy's career. He didn't really do too much. He was in like the Three Musketeers, the Disney one, and he was in Lake Placid. Like, he's a great character actor. I do like Oliver Platt quite a bit. And he was the most sensible among the five. I mean, he was the one that was at least like, guys, can we not do this?
Yeah, he's the only one who didn't flatline.
He's the only one that didn't participate in the flatline. William Baldwin, this was probably the peak of his career. He didn't really he had like Sliver with Sharon Stone and some other, like, really, this was it for him. Like, to be in a movie, and the thing that I thought was hilarious, I was researching a bit, Julia didn't work with any of these actors again ever in her career. Like, she was not in any movie with any of these people ever again. So that's what leads me to believe that this was, hey, we better release Flatliners now that Julia's a huge star and capitalize on that.
I'll defend Billy a little bit here real quick.
Please don't. But
Backdraft.
No, you're right.
Backdraft came out the next year. So
yeah, well, I mean,
his peak was a little bit later, I think.
Backdraft is a great movie, but that's an ensemble. I guess he was kind of the star? Not really the star, but he was a big part of Backdraft.
Yeah, I think Kurt Russell's the
star, obviously. But yeah, he was. You're right, though. I mean, but yeah, nothing ever got better for Billy Baldwin after this movie. Like there was no, like, yes, Backdraft, but then really took a steep dive after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I just didn't dig it. I just did not dig this movie at all.
I didn't care for it. I'll be honest. I saw your rating for it. I might go slightly higher, just because there was some really good camera movement here or there. I did like what Jan was doing.
Yeah.
The story was not meeting the level of what Jan could do to elevate it.
Well, there wasn't anything he can do. He was just basically doing his job at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and this was before he directed Twisters, so he
yes,
he hadn't really hit it big yet.
it's one of those bad movies where you start nitpicking things, and you're like, I don't really like doing that to a movie, because I kind of like going along with it for a bit, but it's just there's just so many questions that just start coming to your mind. First off, this would be a great episode to have Dr. Earl on and ask him, so how long before they start getting brain damage? And...
Right. Wasn't the last one 12 minutes or something? I'm like, come on. Come on. You're really having to not. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I looked it up. They pretty much said after 10 minutes, you're like dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to come back.
Which is probably why they said 12 minutes, because I'm sure some dude was like, well, okay, I did this research in 10 minutes. Let's do 12 and make it so much more impressive that he comes back.
Well, and you notice he comes back not because they did anything, but because he apologized.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm going to say one thing that I did like quite a bit was the makeup. I think that they did a great job with the makeup. Like, as a person would come back from flatlining, there was a clamminess to them. Yeah. Like, you could just see that they were not well. So I think they did a really good job in the makeup department as far as imparting the fact that these people are not well. They're cracking up.
They did a good job with that scene after he gets beat up by the little kid.
Right.
His face is like busted.
Which we do find out that he's just doing that to himself.
Well, we find that out, but there's got to be something slightly more supernatural to that, because he does have to go and visit that spirit basically and apologize, like they all have to in some way. Even though I don't think we ever saw Billy Baldwin's character apologize. He just got broken up with.
Exactly. His was because he was a sex addict, and
that was the first scene when he is having relations with that girl.
Yeah.
The first scene where I started asking a question. The girl, he's having relations with her. Kiefer says something over the voicemail where he's like, "Don't forget your camera." And then the girl goes, "What camera?" And I'm like,
right.
Why would she ask that question?
Right, exactly. Does she know, or
it's for the audience? And what they're doing is telling and not showing. But they showed the camera before being hidden.
Exactly.
So I just,
it was dumb. It was dumb to have her say that, because, like you said, they showed the audience that there was a camera there. They showed Billy looking up at the camera. I mean, so
and why would she ask?
Why would she ask? It was dumb. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Totally dumb. I think that his girlfriend was Terry Polo, I think is her name. She's somewhat it might have been Terry Polo. I can't remember exactly. It was somebody of some recognition, because I've seen that particular actress in a bunch of things. Let me go to the cast again. I want to see if it was Terry Polo. No, Hope Davis. I'm sorry. Which Hope Davis and Terry Polo basically look exactly the same. But Hope Davis, actually a pretty accomplished actress. She's been in a bunch of stuff. Nominated for 3 Emmys. So she's had a good long career. She's actually a pretty good actress. And she's got a good sense of humor too. She's been in a bunch of stuff. But
she's in a bunch of Wes Anderson's.
Bunch of Wes Anderson stuff, exactly. Yeah, because she's got that kind of really good dry delivery of humor that Wes likes. And so she's been in a bunch of stuff as well. So look, powerful cast. Very powerful cast in 1990. The studio that released this, definitely based upon the release date, was taking advantage of how huge Julia was in Pretty Woman. There's no doubt in my mind now that they're like, we are releasing Flatliners, even if it was in the can and waiting to be released or something. They definitely took advantage of how huge that Julia Roberts became. But she really doesn't do too much in this film. She's I would call her the co-star, but most of her line delivery and just it had to be difficult as an actor to really care about this movie. Like, it's just was so campy. Like, Kiefer was really good at the camp aspect of it. Oliver Platt knew the type of movie he was in, so he was delivering the lines as over the top as he possibly could. So yeah, I mean, it's not horrible. I understand it has a bit of a cult following. Obviously, it has a bit of a cult following, or we would have never seen a remake.
Remake sequel, yeah.
Sequel, yeah. Requel. We talked about that last week, but the whole concept of the requel. But usually movies that don't have any following whatsoever don't get the requel, advantage. You had Point Break come out with its sequel, requel, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been tons like that eventually you see, like Cliffhanger. I don't know if it's coming out this year, but apparently there's a Cliffhanger requel that is coming out at some point where they gender swapped, and I can't, the girl from Baby Driver's in it. She's the star of it. I can't remember her name, but because she's so forgettable.
Lily James.
Yeah, Lily. I want to say Lily James is the star of this Cliffhanger.
I don't know that I'd call Lily James forgettable.
She's forgettable. No,
Cinderella.
Yeah, so that was the best of the Disney live action princess ones specifically, but we'll see. Tangled will come for it, I'm sure. But yeah, look, sometimes the off-the-shelf pick, just the off-the-shelf gods spoke, and that's what happens sometimes. You just have to roll with the punches. I'm excited about mine for next 2 weeks from now because it's a movie from the 70s, so it'll be a little bit different flavor. So I am excited about that. I will say it's another sci-fi film because I would call Flatliners sci-fi, obviously. So in a couple weeks I've got another sci-fi, so it'll be interesting to see.
Okay.
Sorry about Flatliners.
You're good. My pick, this just came in the mail.
Oh,
so I'm going to go ahead and make this my pick.
Okay.
It is The Town, directed by Ben Affleck.
Dude, yes.
2010.
So
Never
much,
seen
yes.
it.
Oh, yes.
Just got it through an Amazon deal where you buy 3 for $33 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to watch this finally because I've heard really great things about The Town. So
yeah, it is. It is.
I have
fantastic.
seen Argo. I haven't seen Live by Night, which is funny because it was filmed in Brunswick for a lot of it. A lot of the exterior stuff.
Oh, Live by Night was.
Yeah, but I've heard great things about The Town. So
yes, yeah. I think that this is a very solid, much better than Flatliners off the shelf pick. I like the randomness of yours. I've got this silly thing that I've done to myself, which is to go through my boutiques first. Now, and we're going in alphabetical order. So I've got Arrow, and then Blue Underground. There's one Blue Underground film that I haven't seen. But then we get to Criterion, and there's a bunch of Criterion movies.
Hey, same.
Yeah. So once I get to Criterion, I'm excited because I'm not only going to have, at least for myself personally, obviously, I'm not only going to have Blu-ray and 4K available, but I'm going to have some Laserdisc Criterions available that I'm excited about. They're big movies, but I just don't own them in any other format but Laserdisc. So, and some of them may or may not be directed by Orson Welles. So I'm excited once we finally get to that.
Oh, Citizen Kane. I see.
Well, I've seen that, but there's a couple of others.
Okay.
That are Criterion. So yeah, dude, The Town, I am very excited about The Town. That movie is awesome.
Do you want to talk about The Wrecking Crew from this year, directed by Manuel Soto?
Yes, yeah, Blue Beetle guy. I do. I first want to mention that I did get to go see The Secret Agent.
Okay, yeah.
So it's set in the
2 hours and 40 minutes, by the way.
It is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's set in the 70s in Brazil. So I don't want to spoil anything necessarily, but the main premise of it
does it relate to the stuff that happened in the movie last year, I'm Still Here?
No, it actually does not. It does not have anything. You certainly see moments of where you can tell that the government is corrupt, but this is more of a personal story between Wagner Moreau's character. He worked for I want to say it was like a chemical company or a geological company of some type. And this guy that owned the company was somewhat corrupt. And so this guy that's corrupt kind of comes and strong arms this smaller office which Wagner Moura's character is the head of this smaller office in a different part of Brazil. And just some crazy stuff happens between those two characters. And the title of the film has some truth to it, but not really. It's a bit of a subversion as far as the whole secret agent thing. I'll say this. I was impressed by Wagner Moura's acting. I'd seen him in a couple of other things, not too many things. I think that was him in Civil War, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be getting him completely mixed up with somebody. But I thought that was
right.
Yeah, I think that's him in Civil War. And if that's him in Civil War, I thought he was great in Civil War.
It is.
He's good in this as well. And that's about the only... This is the Iron Lady syndrome, where the performance is maybe much better than the film that he's in. Now, there are people that are raving about this movie, but I have such a hard time with it having a slot in the Best Picture when something like No Other Choice doesn't get in. Because No Other Choice, I think, is far superior to
Brazil has had a lot of supporters the last couple of years in
Brazil
the Academy.
has spoken in the Academy for sure. Now, I almost feel the same way about Wagner being in the Best Actor over Jesse Plemons in Begonia. Jesse Plemons' performance and that character is a much more showy character.
Yeah,
I'll give it that. So Wagner Moura carries this whole, like, it's his movie. He is in almost every scene, and it's impressed. Like, he does good in it. I just was kind of bored with the movie in general. Like, I didn't necessarily, and this is just my ignorance of 1970s Brazil. Maybe I don't quite understand the plight of what a lot of these people were going through. And I definitely don't understand the political ramifications of what was going on in Brazil in the 1970s. And so it probably didn't resonate with me as much as even I'm Still Here, I thought was a much more compelling story.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Much more compelling story than The Secret Agent. But Wagner did fine. I'm not trying to say that he doesn't necessarily deserve to be in the Best Actor or Best Picture cat. Like, it's fine that it's there, but I don't know if I would have personally put it there. But there's also a lot of people that are ticked off that F1's there. So so who knows? The Academy is doing what the Academy does lately. And they always have some flashy Best Picture nominee, and then maybe some below the line, maybe just skirted in.
Well, people can be mad, but when F1 is on that specific front, is winning a bunch of technical awards at technical guilds.
Yeah,
a lot of people in the industry love the movie, at least from a technical standpoint. It's gonna, it's gonna probably make some. It's probably going to get some below the line wins at the Academy.
I hope so. I mean, I hope it does. I mean, I'm expecting Sinners to get a lot of those, but I hope
that's
F1,
true.
I'm hoping F1 does sneak in, but I think that because of the number of nominations that Sinners has, the expectation will be that it'll get some below the line wins in it.
I just wouldn't be surprised at an upset here or there for F1.
Did you happen to see any Best Picture noms this past week?
I'm going to see one yesterday, technically, but tomorrow for us recording. I'm going to see Hamnet, so I'll talk about that next week.
Awesome. Okay,
and cool. Maybe I'll be able to catch. I'm trying to catch Secret Agent or Sentimental Value. They got to make it available to me. So,
well, that's my problem. Well, okay. To be fair, Sentimental Value is available to rent for $14.99.
Okay, is it?
I could easily but I want to see that in a theater.
Yeah, I agree, but I may not be able to. So
no, I'm the same way. Because it's getting some screenings randomly here. There's one during the Super Bowl tomorrow. I'm not going to miss the Super Bowl to go see Sentimental Value.
No,
but that's all it's getting right now in Birmingham is one screening. So like one showtime. And so until March, it looks like it's getting a wider release in general in March, like right before the Academy Awards. So I don't know if I want to wait that long. So I may rent it. I don't know. But yes, let's definitely talk about The Wrecking Crew now. Because, it's another one of these direct-to-streaming films that I would have loved to have seen in a theater.
Mm-hmm. I want to point out something real quick. Jonathan Troper, the writer, becoming a hot name. So let's his first film credit
for the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His first credit was "This Is Where I Leave You," Sean Levy's 2014 little family film that he did with Jason Bateman. And Adam Driver. He then did Kodachrome and Irreplaceable You on Netflix, which I'm not familiar with either of those. But then Adam Project again with Sean Levy.
Yeah.
The Wrecking Crew here. Now he's doing Matchbox the movie for Apple.
Okay.
Which we were just talking about the other day.
Yes.
And Star Wars Starfighter, he's also the writer of.
Oh, okay. Like by himself, the writer of it?
I'd have to look, but it's a Levy production. He is currently listed as the sole writer. So
wow.
Now they'll do arbitration, and I'm sure other people were involved in some way, including Levy.
Including Levy, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, and I think that the Matchbox.
I'm not saying the writing here is like masterpiece level. I'm just saying he's starting to. Guys who do consistent work and turn stuff in get a lot of jobs. So
of course, and the Matchbox movie is just going to be a Matchbox movie in name alone. It's not like the movie itself is going to be like more like a Fast and Furious type situation, and they're just happen to use Matchbox as like it's not going to be kids playing with Matchbox cards. It's going to be John Cena getting blown up and crazy stunts, and it'll be fun. It's not, but yeah, it's going straight to Apple. I think. I don't think they're
theater.
Think they're doing a theatrical release on that one, but I could be wrong. That's the thing, you never know with Apple. Like sometimes they're very into putting their stuff in theaters, and sometimes they aren't.
And the good news is on that front, if you want to see an Apple movie in theaters, F1 did so well that they will be committed to doing it for at least their bigger movies.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, totally. No, I definitely agree. But yeah, I mean, look, I think that this is a great follow-up for Angel Manuel Soto from Blue Beetle, because Blue Beetle was not a bad movie.
I've still never seen that movie.
I enjoyed aspects of Blue Beetle quite a bit. I think the action sequences in Blue Beetle were great. And that translates again for the Wrecking Crew. Some of the most brutal action sequences, like uber violent, unexpectedly violent.
Yeah.
Which I was like, you know what? If you're going to have a movie called The Wrecking Crew, go ahead and just make it like super violent. I mean, why not? You know,
the first Yakuza fight,
dude,
gets really brutal after a bit. And I was not expecting how brutal it got.
So that first opening sequence in general. Let's talk about the beginning of the movie where you're following the dad.
Yeah.
They made that to look like a oneer, which was cool to me. They're doing a lot of cool camera stuff in this. There's a sequence at the beginning, and then we'll talk about the sequence at the end, because Soto in interviews has said what it's an homage to. It's very obvious what it's an homage to. That fight sequence at the end with Batista in the hallway, very, very obvious what that's an homage to. But also this sequence at the beginning is a cool looking. I know it's not a oneer, but they certainly made it look like one. So it's cool. I mean, there's a lot of great the movie just looks crisp. It just looks really well shot.
I thought it popped really well. Totally. It's sacrilege to say I watched it on my iPad.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't remember where. I think I watched it on this TV or whatever, but
it popped really well on the iPad. I've got a newer iPad that's got a really nice display nowadays.
Yeah,
But I was just surprised at how good it looked for a streaming film, especially because Amazon films used to, back in the day when I'd start them up, they would look really bad, and then over time they'd start to look better.
Okay, we're gonna have to shout out the cinematographer here.
Okay,
it's Matt Flannery. He is, I think, if I'm looking at this correctly, he's the cinematographer for both of the Raid films. Let me look and see. Yeah, he did.
That makes sense.
He did Raid Redemption. He did Raid 2. He did Apostle. So he works with he did Havoc also. So there you go. He's done all of Gareth Evans' movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that totally now. That's why it looks
especially
so good.
The hallway scene, which is clearly inspired by Old Boy.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like him working behind the camera. I can see that. Yeah.
So this is a great new duo. Both these actors obviously are very well known in Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa. But I think putting them together was genius. I think these two guys, they're both around the same age, I think. I think Bautista's probably a little older. At least that's what they want you to think in this movie, because he's the older brother or whatever. They're playing brothers, which, okay, who cares? Yeah, different. What is it? Different mothers, I think, is what we find out in the movie. You get Boba Fett himself, Tamira Morrison.
Yes, I love that.
Is he the mayor, I think, or the governor?
I thought he was the governor.
Maybe the governor, yeah.
But I did think it was weird because they were just kind of nonchalant about that. I mean, just a little bit. They're trying to throw you off some sense here or there.
Oh, yeah. Totally, yeah. As far as like the mystery that's unfolding throughout the movie, yeah. Jacob Balaton, which he's becoming a really good sidekick in general.
Yeah. He is great in this movie.
I thought that he was a great sidekick in, oh gosh, I can't, with Jack Quaid. What was that movie that came out early last year?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. The one where he's a superhero but not.
He's like he can't get, like, he doesn't feel pain.
Feel pain.
Yeah, that movie. So Balaton was in that as well. And so I will say this, like, it's a lot of times it feels like he's playing the same person over and over and over again.
Yeah, but this time he had an accent.
Yeah, this time he had a little bit of an accent. This time it worked. Stephen Root has a great little role in this as the police chief. Stephen Root's a guy that if you don't know his name, you'll know him instantly because he's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah. So you're gonna say there were that guys and that girls even in Flatliners and this movie. I was noticing back and forth.
Right. Yeah. There's quite a bit of that. But yeah. Oh, and of course Marina Baccarin, who plays Jason Momoa's girlfriend. She's
Vanessa in the Deadpool movies.
She's Vanessa in the Deadpool, and been in. She was in Greenland 2 earlier this year. She's been in a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's really great cast. Like whomever is the casting director for this, great job. Like they nailed, and that's important a lot of times in these type of movies, because if you don't nail the casting, that can ruin like a movie like this pretty quickly. Like that one with Alan Richardson that was out, I think it was called Playdate. That is another, or something like, I can't remember what the stupid movie was called, but it was another direct to Amazon movie or direct to a streaming service movie that is an action flick that it just didn't work because I think the casting was off. This, and they're already talking sequel for this. It's just another franchise that Amazon has quietly started that they're just having these direct to their streaming service rather than in the theaters. Now, Amazon, I'm not going to give too much of a hard time on this because they are very committed in general. Their MGM stuff, most of their MGM stuff seems like they're wanting to do theatrical releases. Like, so I'm not going to give them like Mercy. I would have flip-flopped. I would have rather seen Mercy on their service and Wrecking Crew in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, very much so.
Yeah.
On paper, I'm sure it's difficult for them to decide what they want to do there.
Well, and here's the thing. They usually lock that in before shooting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
So you think, I got Chris Pratt. We're going to do this movie. It's going to be kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Let's go put it in theaters. Okay, Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa has led $1 billion movie. Yeah, but this is not IP. Maybe they're thinking, okay, well,
they were worried about it because it was. Yeah. And that's tough because I think this would have played so much better in the theater than Mercy would have, than Mercy did. Mercy bombed, basically. I mean, I think we can safely say that Mercy bombed. Whereas I think The Wrecking Crew is getting so much positive buzz just in general from pundits online. Just everybody that watches it just says that they have such a good time with it because the dynamic between Bautista and Momoa is it's just great. They're both pros at this type of thing, but it ups it to a different level because not only are they good action stars for their age, but also the comedic timing. They're both pros. They're both really good at comedic timing. And so
I was surprised.
Just works.
You you talked about this earlier. We talked about this earlier. I was surprised how brutal it got. I mean, they have a fight between each other.
Yes,
it gets brutal.
Yes, it does.
Where I thought that they were going to get arrested, to be honest with you,
because they were out in front of the cop. They were out in front of the police station. There is some stuff like in these typical type of movies that you do have to suspend belief for a little bit on some of the stuff in this, obviously. But the Yakuza part, it's interesting. Yes. I liked that the Yakuza was in Hawaii. I thought that was an interesting dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And you find out, and this is something that I don't think many movies have done. I want to say that there is a Scorsese film that Dwayne Johnson is supposed to be in that is going to be around the mob in Hawaii. And so
is that the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson one?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson and Scorsese are going to do like a drama about this type of thing. But there was aspects of that highlighted in this film, and that's actually not something that I've seen. I've seen a lot of movies, and I have not seen this idea of there being a mafia in Hawaii, not the Italian mafia, obviously, but the
an offshoot of the Yakuza.
Yeah, the Pacific Islanders, maybe an offshoot of the Yakuza, like something going on in Hawaii as far as organized crime is concerned. Makes sense that it's there, but it's just not been something that's necessarily been highlighted on film that often. So I thought that worked really well. The main bad guy was interesting. He was just a rich dude who happened to be using the Yakuza a little bit. So he was somewhat interesting, a little bit.
I could have used more of his wife.
Yes. It was all some of it. There are some tropes that these type of movies fall into that this definitely falls into a little bit, but everything around those tropes works so well that you can easily forget it. I thought that the action sequence with the helicopter was fantastic.
Yes.
The car stuff, every aspect, every action sequence setup was done very well.
The one thing I really appreciated about this movie, and I didn't even see the talk about the sequel, but I liked that they ended it on a note that was not a sequel note, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
so many things nowadays set themselves up for another film, which is fine. Sometimes that's fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's nice to just go, oh, he burned that note to go after somebody else.
Right.
You know, the story is over for now. We can come back, but the story's over for now.
Yeah, no, it's a nice bow into the film. If there wasn't going to be an expansion, which I'm not going to blame Amazon for seeing that there's a lot of interest in this film. They obviously see the numbers and they're like, okay, we've got to do a sequel of this, obviously. You know, which like with The Rip, for example. So that's the other big streaming movie that came out this year that has had, I would say, a lot of success for Netflix. I don't think that there's a sequel planned for that, obviously. Because that's harder to get that cast together than this cast. It's harder to get Ben and Matt
artist
on
equity
for The Rip 2, and with unfortunately Carnahan going through what he's going through now, allegedly, then who knows what's gonna come with his career from this point on, which is a real shame because I think he's a talented director, which is maybe why this thing is happening to him, allegedly. But yeah, Angel Manuel Soto, like slow clap, golf clap, dude. I mean, great follow up to Blue Beetle. He is going to continue to get work from this because this was very well directed.
He was derided a bit there was just some weird news that would come out about the Blue Beetle set about how terrible everything was, and then when the movie came out, it was fine, and everyone talked about how much they loved him, and so I don't know what PR campaign was happening there.
It was weird.
Him.
It was weird
because it was real. It was online, and then it went away.
And
I don't know if any of it was actually real, but there were people saying it, and some legitimate people, or at least almost legitimate people. I'm glad for him. This was great. It was a really fun Amazon original movie. I don't know the last time I've watched an Amazon original. It was Heads of State last year.
And that's another one that,
you know what? I had a lot of fun with that one.
I think it was Playdate was the really bad one.
Yeah,
like Playdate was just rough.
I love that their kind of thing is doing the buddy cop thing. In different genres with different settings and stuff like that. I mean, Heads of State was a buddy cop between the head of the president and the prime minister of Britain, and then this is the two brothers in Hawaii taking on gangsters, yakuza, and just evil rich person in general too. And then I don't know what Playdate was, but it looks like it was Richardson and Kevin James.
Yeah, Richardson and Kevin James.
That's probably your issue there. No offense. I like Kevin James, but
it's just it. Yeah. Like Richardson has to be really careful, I think, because he's gained some equity with his show on Amazon with Jack Reacher, or just Reacher or whatever. But it seems like, I don't know, like I'm worried, like he's got War Machine coming out, which is direct to Netflix. He's got to be careful with the movies that he's doing. I know everybody's got to make a living, everybody's got to take a paycheck, but I felt like from the success of Reacher, he could have leveraged that a bit better than he has so far. Playdate was bad. He was good in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yep.
He showed us something different, which was good, because pretty much everything that he had done from that point up to that point was one note. Like, he's the big burly guy that can beat people up.
Yeah.
In Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, he had an accent. He had some good humor moments.
Yeah,
he showed us that he's got some ability to do some different things. Whereas Playdate and War Machine seems like he's going back to his Reacher well and kind of just doing the same, like, big burly guy that can beat people up. I think that he's a better actor than that, and he's just got to be careful. But anyways, back to the Wrecking Crew, because Batista and Momoa, they're doing exactly the thing that you're supposed to do, which is find a movie that can highlight showing us some different things from them, which in this case was maybe Batista. We know that he can be funny with deadpan stuff from Guardians of the Galaxy, but this was buddy cops type stuff, like 48 Hours, like these two together, and they played well off of each other. And he was like a family man in this. And so there was some really good stuff for Batista to do in this that I think that is going to be beneficial for him.
I don't know the last time I've seen him do hand-to-hand combat. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. He was really
Momoa
good.
Specifically. I'm trying to think of his other movies. Aquaman, there's not a lot of hand-to-hand.
Not really.
You go to Dune and sword fighting, which he's great as Duncan Idaho, but it's sword fighting mostly. So this could be a good, just kind of stepping point for some other stuff that he wants to do potentially. I'd love to see him work with a Gareth Evans. Honestly,
I would too. I think so. I mean, after Havoc, Gareth Evans is probably in director jail because that was a bad movie. But like we alluded to it earlier, but Batista getting to do the old boy homage in the hallway. Now, this was a different angle. So
did he have a hammer in that shot, or was there something else? He had a hammer at one point.
He had a hammer at one point, but this, I think I don't know. He had like some mallet, or I don't know what he exactly had. He had something in his hand.
They used all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. They did. Yeah. That whole last act was insane. There was just a lot going on. But this was a different angle. It is an homage, but this is like the audience looking on from almost like a not parallel, but perpendicular angle, where we're seeing, whereas the old boy, you're kind of like following him down the hallway. It's a little bit different angle, but it was still a good homage. I mean, I thought it was great. And Soto in interviews has said, yes, obviously that I'm a huge fan of Park Chan-wook, and so
of Deadpool and Wolverine, and
well, right, yeah, they did that too. But
there's just so many films have aped that scene at this point. It's just kind of
it's
become a staple.
I wouldn't, and you know what? And I wouldn't say that it's getting old. I think that it looks great. No. I mean, I think anytime that you can pull that off well, then it looks great.
You've got to bring something to it, your own flair, I think, or else then it does get stale, like anything.
Yeah,
but
I
it hasn't gotten old to me either. It's not been overused either to me.
So I think that, like, between the both of us, we highly recommend, if you're into like hard R action flicks.
Yes. And it is R for language and violence specifically.
Very much so, yeah. So if that's something that you're into, don't, because I know a lot of times with me, I don't necessarily want to give my time to streaming films a lot of times. Not that I'm trying to be like snooty about it, but if like I wasn't going to watch this, but because Hollywood was not giving us much to watch in the theaters this weekend, this was an option for me, and I'm glad that I watched it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that I would have watched it, though, to be completely honest, if there had been something big in theaters this particular weekend. Totally. And I guess everybody's just running from the Super Bowl, which I think is dumb. Like, put a chick flick in theaters that's, and I guess Solo Mio
almost every year run from the Super Bowl.
I get it, but you would think that there's cross programming that they can do, that not everybody in America watches the Super Bowl. Like, put a chick flick in the theaters and make some money. I mean, because I know you would. Now, obviously, with Valentine's Day coming, that's why that doesn't happen, because you want to wait and put all your chick flicks on Valentine's Day weekend.
Here's the thing: next weekend, and just to get into it just a tiny bit,
a lot of movies, yeah.
Our focus is likely going to be Wuthering Heights.
I think plus so. I mean, what now?
Because plus some more. Because
there's a lot. I mean, there's
Crime 101 is coming out. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Goat, by the way, which I was not planning on seeing, it's tracking for 20 to 30 million right now. Second.
Well, it's the only kid. Yeah, if you think about it, it's the only kids movie that's going to be. And a couple of like smaller releases, like Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I don't know how big of a release that's going to get. And I want to say Cold Storage, which is Joe Keery and Liam Neeson. That's got a smaller release, not as many theaters. I mean, the two biggest ones are obviously Wuthering Heights and Crime 101. Those are both sharing IMAX screens. At least here locally, we only have one IMAX screen in an AMC, and they're sharing it. So they are flip-flopping throughout the week, the weekend. So you'll have an early showing of Wuthering Heights, late showing of Crime 101. Crime 101, if you don't know what that is, that's that Hemsworth film. Really good cast. You've got Halle Berry in it, Mark Ruffalo. It's long. It's another movie that the runtime is probably too long. But
I don't know if you've noticed their press tour feels like, and this might just be some bias here versus the interviews that show up on my timeline versus the ones that don't. Feels like more of a press tour for Avengers Doomsday than it does for Crime 101.
Yes, totally.
Because it's Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor, Halle Berry, who plays Storm, who may or may not be in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars, and Mark Ruffalo, who's playing the Hulk, and who may not be in Doomsday either. But, I mean, they're just constantly getting asked questions about those two films because they're major films.
I mean, wouldn't you?
I haven't really heard a lot about Crime 101.
Yeah. I'm intrigued by the movie just because anytime that you have a writer-director type situation, I kind of have a little bit more buy-in on it, just because I'm interested in a director bringing his complete vision. So if he's co-writing the screenplay, I think maybe he wrote the screenplay. It's based upon a novella by Don Winslow.
But he's the guy who did American Animals.
Yeah, Bart Layton. Yeah, he did American Animals, which got some buzz. Smaller film that got a little bit of buzz. He did something else. Is it The Imposter? I think
it's The Imposter, but he didn't write that one.
He didn't.
He did direct it.
Yeah, and that was
a documentary
about something in Texas. Interesting. But anyway, so I don't know. It's a bit long. It's 220. That type of movie. I don't know if I want it to be 220, but I'll go see it. I plan on seeing it, but yeah, I think our focus. You're right. The bigger Hollywood flashy film is definitely Wuthering Heights, directed by Emerald Fennell. I mean, obviously, you've got Margot Robbie and what's his face, Frankenstein.
Yeah, Jacob
Elordi, like two huge, massive stars are going to be in this thing.
In his case, literally massive.
He's a tall guy. He is a tall guy for sure. So yeah, I mean, I know it's weird to hear two dudes say that we're going to go see Wuthering Heights by ourselves, but that's what's going to happen. I'm going to go see it.
I've done it plenty of times.
I'm going to see it on IMAX though, so I at least will get. I don't know. I like seeing stuff on IMAX when it's available, so I'm gonna go
saw
check it out.
Materialists by myself, so
I did too.
I can do Wuthering Heights.
But you're never by yourself when you're in a theater of other moviegoers. It's a communal experience. The Materials was a funny situation for me. I went by myself to that one, and I was sitting in between like two groups of like college-aged girls that were just very excited about the Materialists. And I was like, why are these people, how are they getting knowledge of a movie like this? It was very strange. I don't know. It was really weird. Like,
they love past lives, Mikey.
I guess huge past lives. That's why I went and saw it. But anyways, and it wasn't a bad movie. It was just a weird movie. It was just very strange. But so look,
people,
Wrecking Crew, highly recommend. Yeah. And if you're keeping up with our focus films, then Wuthering Heights for next week. And I'm gonna try and see Crime 101 also, which I hate the length. I hate that it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, but I'm gonna go see it anyways.
Well, I'm gonna try to see 3. I'm gonna try to see Wuthering Heights, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and Crime 101 if I can.
Nice. Okay.
We'll see if I can get all that in with The Town. I'll probably have to watch The Town during the week to try to make sure we get all that in. I do sometimes cram in the films on the weekend right before we record, but you know, I'm excited about this next weekend. It's a huge weekend for theaters, so I'm interested to see just kind of how much these films pull in. And I also really enjoyed Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, but I'm going to give it a rewatch to see how I really feel about it now that I know everything that happens and kind of, you know, from a different perspective. It's going to be fun. Nice. Where can people find you on the internet, Mikey?
Yes, I am on X at the Michael Nip, on Letterboxd at Michael Nip. And I'm not doing this purposefully, but I think that I'm going to shoot for a movie a day this month.
Wow.
I'm on track, and
I'm not.
I'm going to try and do it, and that's because it's the shortest month of the year. So I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can pull it off. There is a lot of television that I watch also, so sometimes it's difficult. Shrinking is back, and a couple of other things that I'm watching. So I've got a lot of TV to watch, but I really feel like I can do this one movie a day thing. It seems like it's working so far. If I can find the right length of film, like tight 90, it's not that difficult if you can do it that way. So,
well, you can find me on Twitter at greifin3, GRYFUN3, Letterboxd at greifin. I will not be doing a movie a day because I have actually been picking up reading a little bit recently. So,
reading? What's that?
Yeah, well, so Sanderson stuff got announced to be adapted into movies and TV shows, and there are still a few books I have to read. And I was like, you know what, let's start diving back into this. And it's been good. You can find the podcast at Cinema Debrief on Twitter and Instagram as well. And we'll see you next week for The Town, Wuthering Heights, and maybe more.